Oh, shucks. Hi, guys. Sorry. This is Nikki, you also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching the Awesome10X Philippine Market Update. So, a while ago, you saw me peeking on some Shopee. Yeah, I'm very fond of ordering from C Limited Shopee, which happens to also be an Awesome10X pick. And yes, there's going to be a mega sale. So, looking forward to the mega sale for the stocks and, of course, the products itself. Anyway, let's go begin in the Philippine market update. So the Philippine market update is 6,566 points today, up 7 points. You've got a slew of winners and losers. You could see that your Metro Bank tried to go up. It's now 46 bucks. Let's take a look at your index movers for today. It's March 17, 2021. So let's read about the index. So you've got 6.27 billion, about 6.3 billion pesos, or something like very, very low value turnover. So value turnover is very low. Foreign net selling continues with 256 million pesos on the way down. Then your gainers are about 2% up. Your Bloomberries are down 2%. Let's read your index movers. So the Philippine markets financials try to go up. Your BPI is now 83.8. I'll just read all throughout the gainers and the losers for the day. First in the index, BPI is 83.8, ICT is 127.6, PLDT is 13.13, Jollibee recovered 185. Avoidance Equity Ventures is now 36 bucks, SM is 1,005, Metro Bank is 46, MPI is 3.86, Robinson's Land is 18.4, Mega World is 3.48, GT Cap is 521.5, Security Bank is 120.5, Emperador is 10.28, AGI is 10.18, Luciatan Group is 13, Meralco is 268, San Miguel Corporation is 117.8, First Gen is 30.8, Pure Gold is 34.4, Aboitiz Power is 25, DMC is 5.2, AC is 756.5, Robinson's Retail is 52.9, URC is 125, Bloomberry is 6.82, Ayala Land is 35.65, Globe is 19.30, BDO is 103.8, JG Summit is 60.45, SM Prime is 35. So you could see really that the Philippine market is still on the way down, but some people were starting to bargain hunt a few names. So a few financials managed to go up. Let's take a look at the stats today. Top traded. You are seeing that some people still continue to buy up some non-index names. You're seeing that Tito Telecom, after dropping to as low as 9, is now still at about 1064, up 5%. You've got Prim rising 50% today from 285, closing at 4.2. So some non-index players are playing BHI and Prim. BHI managed to also go up a while ago and then got sold down. A while ago it was 10 cents, closed down 4% down here, about 8.9 cents. But you could see that activity on these names are very high. Your BPI is trading at 83.8. Your BDO is 103.8. Your Metro Bank is 46. We are seeing that the financials have a high value turnover, suggesting that there are some people willing to buy these banks even on these levels. Ayala Land is 35.65. Some people bargain hunting on it. ASEN is 688. Your SM is 1,005. Your URC is 125. PLDT is 1313. Overall, we are seeing that there are also some people trying to bargain hunt on Mary Mart in APL for 85 and 19 cents. Your Pure Gold is still on the doldrums here at about 34.4. Your Meralco is 268. AC 756. Your BSC is now trading at 81 centavos. What a big drop from its previous highs of about, I think, 180 or something. Your AGI is 1018. Your Davin is 308. Yeah, so you've got these non-index movers. Let's take a look as well on the biggest gainers and worst losers. The biggest gainers are your Prim. We have been seeing that movement on your Prim, even if we didn't know exactly what it was. So that is a backdoor, of course. So we saw that it was a restructuring play, but as to what exactly Prim would be, no idea. Let's take a look at whether there are news flows on Prim on this 50% move. Another big mover for today is Dito Telecom. Dito Telecom went up. Now it's up to what, 10.64. Then your Mary Mart. So some people are trying to buy again these names, and let's take a look at whether there's news flow on these names. Worst losers, very strong losses on BHI, 281 million, but the 4% drop might be just suggested profit taking on your BHI. Your BSC, strong movement on the downside here at 81 cents. And strong movement on, yeah, other than that, yeah, I'd say that the other companies are just down 2%, suggesting normal stuff. So, all right, let's take a look at the chart specifically of Prim, and if there are some suggested news about in social media chatter about Prim, PRIM. So we've been checking about Prim. It's annoying. It's just a backdoor play. Not sure what exactly it is. So let's see. Dollar Prim, we are seeing this Prime Media getting what? Are there press releases about Prime Media up 47%? It's now trading at about market cap of about 3 billion pesos. Strong movement. So we've already been seeing that movement from about 1 peso all the way to 350. Had the drop to 250, now trading at 420. It's now actually 1 to 4. Strong volumes. We don't really see what exactly is happening. No news disclosures. The last news disclosure was still February 24, December. So until today, after a 400% rally on your Prim, the market seems to be just guessing and speculating on it so far. So what else are we seeing? The movement. Okay, we saw Dito Telecom manage to go up 4%. We are seeing that there are some people buying this up after this huge cataclysmic drop of about 50%, 19 all the way to 9. So it might be seen that it might get some range rebound. However, there is still that potential resistance here at about 12. That is a gap fill if ever it will go up. So then again, you still see a lot of supports here at about 7 or 8. So we don't see a clear trajectory for Dito Telecom. It could go up to 12 or it could also go down either way to about 7, 8, or even at 6. So this is still that support before. We don't know if it's going to get supported next coming days, but that's something that we are able to see here on your Dito Telecoms. Other than that, we'll see whether the markets or any commenters we could see. All right. So what are your thoughts on the latest ARIT news? Thank you. Okay, so let's read about ARIT. Let's take a look at news flow on ARITs. Ayala ARIT property value. So amendments. Let's read the news on Ayala REITs. So Ayala REIT's property value may reach 50 billion pesos following an Ayala land asset infusion. So our REITs are expected to reach 50 billion due to a property share swap transaction. They're going to increase their leasing portfolio to about 549,000 square meters from just 344, contributing to an increase of operating cash flows. They're composed right now of office leasing properties within Ayala Land's prime estates across the country. We're very excited to present this transaction to all of our shareholders as a compelling yield that will grow over time. It is the first real estate investment trust in the Philippines, followed by Double Dragon's DDMP. Okay, so I think that this is in reaction to the fact that there are actually a lot of ghost office spaces right now. Of course, it is not just a Philippine thing, but it's actually a worldwide thing. We do see a lot of offices in the commercial side, actually office spaces, even commercial leasing, having a hard time due to the pandemic with the shift to remote work. So, okay, so I think like with Ayala REITs, some investors might actually be happy that it's getting a cash an infusion, right? So it's gonna get an asset infusion. So your market cap increases. So far, that could actually suggest that there are some people willing to increase the. That's perhaps the reason why it even went up in the first place, because your REITs definitely aren't expected to actually go up over time. Actually, they're expected to just stay stable. When I say it doesn't expect to go up over time, it just means that it's supposed to trade within a range. So whether it be a 25% range or a 20% down range, usually it's a stable asset. So so it is unlikely for it to go up 50 to 100%, unlike what it did. No, so far it's already up 36% from this stable 26 area, or specifically a range of about 45% from as low as 24 to as high as 34. So I guess that the people who bought it up perhaps knew about this REITs, this asset infusion, which could actually explain why it went up 45%. Because typically, a REIT doesn't really go up 45% without with only like the same assets involved. So if you'll ask me, perhaps the market is aware of it, and that's the reason why ARIT isn't in an uptrend. Do you think that it is okay to enter macro Asia at 4.8? In general, we know that there's a huge shift to with a surge in rising cases. Nobody wants to go out. So it is still a reopening play. That said, there might be delays on the reopening, given the fact that the COVID lockdown is pressuring, of course, the hardest hit sector, which is your hotel industry and your aviation industry. So is it okay to enter macro Asia at 4.8? It all depends on your time frame. Within the next 10 months, I don't know if macro Asia can actually go up as high as we think. It could still go up to 8 pesos, but I think like some people, 7 or 8 pesos, right, where it previously was. But whether it goes up to 8 pesos or 4 pesos first, I think like it's all about the actual COVID cases and whether we are actually traveling. So it's a sad thing to say that I am uncertain on how many Filipinos can actually travel, and the optimism on reopening might actually be short-lived. We'll see about that. Thoughts on Aboitiz Power, please, because this has been sleeping since I started trading last November. I bought it at 26.2. The problem with Aboitiz Power would be utilities. So whatever you've bought as a utility, it's unlikely to actually go up over time. It's just supposed to be stable. So Aboitiz Power has been sleeping within the range of about 24 to 28. You could see that it is a utility. They generate power. So they are sleeping here. I don't know whether it will go up, but it looks like it's just a stable range here. Whether you bought it in November or you bought it, say, August, the price has been the same here, about 25. So even if you've bought it even on April, it is just really fixed within a 25 to 24 area. You've got supports there and another resistance here at 28. So I think like if the expectations for getting a huge win or a fast money win on Aboitiz Power was present when you bought it, I don't think that it is that type of asset. What's the best entry for Mary Mart? The problem with Mary Mart is that it has already broken down significantly. So just like Mary Mart and Dito Telecom, these have been extended. And so there was this huge drop. 850 fell down all the way 50% here to about 4 pesos. Usually, the next support will be either here to about 4 pesos or 350. There are some actions trading this, but very strong resistances can be clearly seen here at about 6 pesos. So this has been an extension, and I think that the short-term movement is still to the downside. Although it can go up to 550 or even at 6, I would guess that there are a lot of resistances there. And perhaps the supports would even stay here at about 4 or 350 or even at 3. We'll see about we'll see how the market reacts, but looks like there's a strong resistances for Mary Mart first. Is AV a good bottom pick? Aboitiz Equity Ventures, the major shareholders are of course the owners of your Union Bank and your Aboitiz Power. So it is just like any conglomerate right now. I don't see any rationale to actually load up, although you could argue that it has gotten a support of 28 here, and the 36 level may be a low downside risk. But I have no special idea why it will be supported at 33, except that yes, there's a chart right there, and except the fact that Aboitiz Equity Ventures does own Aboitiz Power, which is a power generator, and they own Union Bank. As far as I know, Aboitiz Power is quite a stable company. How about Manila Water? Manila Water would always be stable, just like all your utility firms. Manila Water is expected to be low volatility. So when you say low volatility, it is a defensive instrument similar to your Meralcos. So very clearly, we can see that temporary resistance at 16 areas. In the last 10 years, you could see that the prices of Manila Water has never been below 20 or not even below 17. So some people might argue that the drop is unwarranted, given that in the last 10 years, Manila Water has never failed to supply the Philippines and even Vietnam with power. with water. So I'd argue that some people would argue that the 14 area or 12 is a support. You might want to enter near that areas, especially since Razon has already cornered the entire shares. I don't expect it to go to 8 though. So yeah, you could argue that Manila Water should be a fine asset in the next couple of months. Any drops here about 13 to 12 would perhaps be supported at some way or another, in some way or another, because of the necessity. It's an essential. Hi, just want to know your thoughts on Philippine resorts, PH Resorts. It's a casino. Yes, PH Resorts is actually a casino of Cebu. That's Mactan Cebu Emerald Resorts. Dennis Uy owns PHR. Looks like this property is it's gonna be a good play, but it's quite speculative to know when it will actually be a significant contributor. So PHR, what we know about it so far is that they are pursuing casinos in Cebu, and they actually shared 1.68 follow-on offering. So we already know that 168 is their follow-on offering. So chances are going down below 168 might be very low probability. So if there's looking for a support, 168 is your support. However, we also see that these people are willing to sell at about 100% higher, or 170 to 340, right? So you're seeing this huge 100% range. So with PH Resorts, you could do a buy low, sell high movement. Those people who are buying near 2 pesos today might actually want to sell it at about 280 or 3 pesos someday. And then if they're risking it at 2 pesos, they're also perhaps going to take a risk that it falls 180, that they're going to be buying as well. So it looks like PHR to me is more of a buy low, sell high range. So I hope that helps clarify. If you think Davin, okay, what are you thinking about Davin? Okay, with Davin, we already know that it is a liquor play. The only problem with liquor is that there's always that ban. But I don't think that the liquor is a bad sector in general. So with Davin, I think like we need to do is to wait and see. Davin is becoming the backdoor listing of Montosco Spirits, which actually sells a lot of liquor in the Philippines. So the only reason why 10 went to 3 and it could go to 1 or 2, which is, I don't know kasi. The thing about Davin is we don't know exactly where would the share sale be. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it, so I think like it's a wait and see for Davin. Wait for news, clarity, and then you should be able to trade it at the very least, but I don't know exactly when to pick up Davin. So not yet. FGen, Nikki, Lauscher. Okay, Lauscher means teacher. FGen is a company that has similarities with renewable power, with gas, right? So natural gas. So they are, in a way, FGen, Aboitiz Power, these are renewable energy entities. The differences are just the fact that FGen's portfolio seems to be more diversified on the clean energy space. So it's a little bit like I don't know if it's actually a buy at 30. Could be expensive at 32. Didn't study it actually. But when you take a look at it, it's a sector on power and energy, so renewable power. That the reason that people are going to compare this is market cap of FGen is 100 billion, and then you've got ASEN, which is expanding, of course, solar farms in India, and also 100 billion. So I'm not sure the market is paying 100 billion pesos for ASEN and your FGen. Aboitiz Power, how much are people willing to pay for this? Also renewable play. It's about 180 billion pesos. So they're all expensive. They're not like 1 billion peso types of companies. So you don't expect them to go down massively, neither do you expect them to go up massively. I guess like a 20% downside is all you see on FGen if the markets do crumble. So if you're looking to buy FGen, 30 minus 6 might be 24. See whether you could enter about 24, although no clarity. We're gonna have to wait and see for news. Sige, let's try to see news on FGen. Other than the fact that of course they okay, so here, notice of analyst investors briefing, share buyback transactions, material informations and transactions. Perhaps wait out for what analyst investor briefing would share about the FGen preferreds, the FGen business model, and yeah, material information. The San Gabriel combined cycle power plants. Yeah. So updates. Sige, let's read about this. February 16, 2021. Quick look. Says here that what exactly did they say? Please be advised that we have completed repairing the generators of the 414 megawatt San Gabriel combined cycle power plant after a damage occurred in last September 2020. Successful restarting and placing online yesterday, and it's necessary to confirm San Gabriel is working as designed, resuming normal commercial operations. So yeah, the thing about FGen is it's always actually typhoon related before every time, no? So you've seen FGen and EDC. EDC is already gone from the market, privately taken out from. But yeah, it's a power play ever since, and they've got series of preferreds. Not too aware, so I just be honest that I am not too confident with Philippine markets in general. So I'm not quite confident despite the abundance of buyback transactions. You could see that the market itself is not confident with very lack of value turnover. So if there's a huge bargain in the market, we don't see that happening with market value turnover. Assuming that there was value, people are still waiting and seeing on how low they could see the market. So I don't think that there is an actual bottom yet that we can definitively print into the Philippines so far. So could be buy low or buy lower. So some people might still be waiting for the markets to give clarity. So there's just no clarity so far. Just like the Philippine market, unable to really define on whether we would clearly reopen as a country. So you've got a lot of question marks more than answers right now. Thank you. That's it. Bye bye.